Hello and welcome. Thanks for taking the time to join us today. I am Gar Whaley, co-founder and CRO of Teal. We provide IT outsourcing to small and medium-sized businesses. Today, I'm joined by our best-selling author, Kirk McLaren, who is also the founder and CEO of Foresight CEO. How are you doing today, Kirk?
I'm doing great. Gar, I'm so glad to be here. You and I go way back, so I'm glad to be here talking to you about, the habits.
Yeah, we go. Kirk and I work together as colleagues at an educational company over in Tyson's Corner, Virginia. And then Kirk's been a client of ours at a number of different companies. But Kirk is a brilliant financial person and somebody I've relied on heavily in my career, and has a lot of great advice on matters of finance. But specifically, what we want to talk about today, Kirk, is the habits. Kirk has been talking to me about habits for many, many years. And we work a lot with a lot of small business people and leaders in industry. And I thought it might be helpful for them to hear directly from Kirk about some of the habits that make small business leaders successful and profitable. So at a high level, Kirk, tell me a little bit about the habits and the things you've been lecturing me on for the last 20 years.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give a little bit of context here. So for the habits to make sense, but the habits are like tactical day-to-day, making sure your people have the right information to proactively make the right decision so they don't have to be micromanaged and that kind of stuff. So it starts with that destination, like from a business standpoint, where do you want to go? And how does that fit into your life? Like who you are, your purpose, when you got freedom of time and money, who are you? If we want to build a business that goes from here to there, where it really makes sense, that destination. So the next on a macro level, the strategic level, what's the flight plan, right? That year to year, what are we at from a money standpoint, including household income, revenue, household income, velocity of cash, profitability, where are we at now to where do we need to be? So you have that, that destination. So we get the year to year financial flight plan. Now the habits are starting to make sense. The habits are the follow through piece and identifying the right options, making the right decision at the right time, and the ability to follow through, right? Where it's literally your team members day to day diving into it. And Gar, would it be helpful if I say what the three habits are?
Yeah. Well, the first one though really piqued my interest, which is something that we say all the time, and you've preached to me for years, which is start with the end in mind. But that's what you meant with that, right? The destination.
Yep.
A lot of leadership frameworks like we follow EOS in our organization. I think you follow something similar but different, but they all start with the end in mind. So yeah, it'd be helpful if you laid those out.
Yes. Okay. That's perfect. So the habits. So let's assume you already got the destination. You painted the picture. You know how it feels. What you're doing there. So that the habits to make sure that that we follow through on the that next step to the end point. First habit number one is use the monthly financial like a scoreboard. And it's most business owners, for all the right reasons, they do not want to look at the financials. It's like a foreign language. It makes them feel not smart. They went into business, but they love what they do. They sell it, deliver it. It's the other stuff. And then the financial, right? And a lot of times, the it's considered back office stuff. It's it hasn't gotten the same care and feeding that other parts of the business has, and they know it's a mess back there, so they don't want to look at it. They don't want to show it to other people. So that's normal, and that's part of it. If you have a successful business that's grown at some rate, probably that's the case. So that's almost like having messy financials are almost like a testament that you probably did a lot right to get here.
So are there any KPIs or anything that you include? Like you're saying a financial scorecard, right? Like out of the gate, are there any top ones that you would point to small business leaders?
Yeah, let's start broadly. Financial statement, like P&L is where it's all. If you control the P&L, you can build a healthy balance sheet, get the cash, proactively get the value and the cash you want, and positive cash flow kind of stuff. But P&L is what managers use, right? Money in, money out. It could be a department, it could be a profit center, doing your product or service. That's the one to start at. And here's the good thing about the monthly financial, like a scoreboard. There's no law saying you have to have this line item, this line item, this line item. Put the line items that make sense to you. Where's your 80-20? Where does most of your revenue come from? where does most of your expense come from? Put them in your terminology so that your manager can use the financials like intuitively.
What do you mean 80/20 as it relates to this? Sure.
Let's say a lot of times 80% of your expenses come down to 5 different types of expenses. It could be labor, material,
Mhm,
something
mhm.
else, but usually like top 5 expenses cover 80% or more of your total expenses. So put them on the top,
Right.
but they get most attention. And by the time you get to number 6, you've already covered most of your. If you manage those first 6 well, you're managing the cost side of your business well.
Makes sense.
Yeah, same thing with revenue. The 80/20 plays out in some form or fashion. So you want to organize what's intuitive, like, it makes sense. It's our terminology. I've seen financial, like P&Ls go for like 6 pages. I couldn't comprehend that if I had 3 brains, right? Because oh my God. And some line items have $1.95 on it, right? It's not helping. Your accounting system needs the detail, but your financials, right? It's not an output of everything your accounting. It's summarized into what helps you make your decisions. And even better, if you're comparing in your financials, if you're comparing, like a scoreboard, red, green, yellow, where are you at in respect to your, I hate the word budget because it's bureaucratic, but where are you at in respect to your budget? We call it budget flight plan. Red, green, yellow, if it's certain parameters. And no judgment. If I'm over or under, it's okay. Right? It's definitely no judgment. But the minute you start shaking your finger at a P&L manager, why aren't you over? Why are you under? Man, they're not gonna show you. You want to see the number story. It's crystal clear. It is black and white. I'm over, under, I'm left, right, and teach people to 80/20 based on what matters. See it for what it is, and for them to proactively initiate action and collaborate with who they need to collaborate with. Man, at that point, the number story is really, it's become a skill that people are confident in, and not feeling like they're going to, get job insecurity if things are not right.
Right.
So definitely compared to budget, and then it tells you how well you plan and follow through. And then another key measurement is actual compared to your prior year. I could be doing up compared to last year. Well, that's good to know. Overall business is performing better. I can breathe. And now let's see how I'm doing compared to plan, the budget. Well, maybe I'm doing better. Maybe I'm on par. Maybe I'm not. But that's a different data point. Okay, I'm doing better than last year, but I'm not doing as well as I want in the plan. The number story shows that. Where do I take action? And better yet, let me empower my team members. Well, they tell me the number story, whether they're over and under. They tell me what their recommended action is. Then the weight, from a CEO standpoint, the weight's coming off my shoulders. That's habit 1. And it's a habit. Like other habits, the first time you do it may not be pleasant. The second time, third time, if you're doing monthly financials, maybe your project managers need weekly financials. Well, get them weekly financials. Why do I have to wait a whole month before I know where I stand? But you got to start first things first. Monthly.
It's an evolving process for us. We try to push our numbers out to all managers so they all have P&L responsibility. Again, it's a continuous cycle to improve. So we're not perfect yet, but we're trying to follow that habit.
Yeah. And what has it been like for you guys?
It's been very helpful. We follow a budget process. Again, we're in EOS. So we have monthly rocks. A lot of the rocks are around budget growth and financial numbers. So it's been helpful. But it's a habit, and it requires discipline. So we continually try to improve, and we get better every day, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, and enjoy the journey because it is a habit, right?
Enjoy the journey. Yep.
Yeah. By month 3, it feels a certain way. By month 6, it's different. Month 12, it's like, wow, what used to take maybe an hour, it takes 15 minutes, and it's a better result. So
yeah.
Good for you. So you mind if I take the next step to habit number 2?
Go.
Okay, so habit 2 is positive cash flow, and there's 2 aspects. One is the 12-week cash forecast. Your accountant can prepare this. This is the short term. In the Army, we call that the 9-meter target, right? This is right here and now. What do I expect coming in week to week? It can be based on products, clients, depending on what type of business you are. What do I expect going out? Rent, labor, payroll, whatever. And you can see, from starting cash balance, where I'm up and down week to week. and I can make decisions. Well, let me not pay that this week. If cash is if it's you got plenty, no worries. But if it's tight, I can move things. Well, let me pay that slower, pay that faster. Let me make sure we're collecting the money that's due to us proactively. The best time to collect money is before it's overdue. If it's a big invoice, and if I send you an invoice for $500,000, guess who gets the phone call? Hey, Mary, did you get the invoice? Yeah, I got it here, Kirk. I'll process it now, right? So the best time to collect is before it's overdue. If it's overdue, everyone feels bad, right? So don't put people in a feel bad situation. Make sure they stay positive. Put people in a positive, safe situation when it comes to cash.
That's a good
So
point.
yeah. So you can see 12 weeks or 9 meters, right? Short-term visibility. If something's going to be short, you can see it early and proactively make decisions. Just to make sure the cash is the fuel in the tank on your flight. So do that. And the second thing you can do, this is like I don't know why more like CFOs don't do it, but they don't. You can measure the cash conversion cycle, the cash velocity. How long does it take me to bill my clients and collect money? How long does it take inventory, payables, payroll? And you can actually benchmark the data for your industry, right? How do we compare total cash conversion compared to my my benchmarks? And then, boy, you want to talk about peace of mind. Normally, if you flip a few switches, all of a sudden you're getting cash faster. It's usually one, two, or three things that changes the whole economics of your business, and peace of mind for making payroll and that kind of stuff.
Kirk,
Plus,
that's something that we've been extremely successful with and found great value in. We compare our numbers on a quarterly basis with other IT outsourcing providers, MSPs, and it's been very helpful to us. So we know where best in class is and cash flow and that sort of thing, and and where we sit on the P&L. So that point right there has been very helpful to us, and the peer group has helped us immensely.
I've been very impressed with you guys on that, because we've been talking about that for a while, that you guys do benchmark internal data, external data. Again, no judgment. I'm over, under, then why? Why are they
Exactly.
8% better than me? And then I just throw one switch, I'm boom,
It's
right?
all about the levers, right? And for us, it's not only the financial metrics. I know that's what we're talking about today, but it's also best in class in terms of service and the service we provide. But it's been very helpful. It's a great point.
Yeah, good. The numbers, nothing's more clear than the numbers, right? You can talk to anybody in your business, salesperson, whatever. Where are you at? Oh, we're great. The next $1 million thing's coming in. Good. Let me see your numbers. Wait a minute. Let's have a real conversation,
Right.
right? And then you teach people, let's be where we're at, and so the numbers do that. So that's the two things about the habit 2, positive cash flow. Definitely do the 12-week cash forecast, so you can match the timing of ins and outs. And then if you want to really play to a different level, measure that cash conversion cycle, and you'd be amazed. Literally, it's 1, 2, or 3 things, and it's like, oh. But hey, the final point on that is cash flow. For every dollar you increase in cash flow, you're increasing the value of your business by some multiple, 3x, 6x, 11x,
Right.
whatever. So why not, right? Kind of stuff. Good. Should we take the next step, the habit 3?
I think so. I think that's the last one, right?
Yep, that's habit 3. The rest is, how do we work with peers to win new customers, that kind of stuff, using the data view of a growth CFO. So habit 3, it fits in with the first one. Habit 3 is engineering your 12-month flight plan, which is a budget, right? But nobody, budget just sounds, it just, you say budget and the air leaves the room. So we like to think of it, that first, you got the multi-year financial flight plan. What is that first year? Where do we want to end up on that first year? Well, let's do the detailed work, month by month, work out what do we expect, sales, money in and money out, and that kind of stuff. And the beautiful thing, when we're not status quo kind of stuff, let's run scenario. Well, what if we do this? What if we do that? What if we make these investments in new client acquisition, whatever it is? And you can see, right. And then what have you come up with as your best, highest probable, way to go? That becomes the measuring point in the habit 1, that financial statements as a scoreboard, right? We can see if you're over or under. And that literally, those are the tactics. Those things, plus making sure your people have a daily dashboard on the actions that they control, red, green, yellow. If you're doing that on a daily basis, they log in and they can see where they stand. Oh man, you got a whole new thing going on. And we're actually we created the Freedom platform, which is our technology. It's, optimized around growth, CFO, business building that we've been using internally for 7 years. We're going to enable it where people can run part of their company or all their company, all the functions, sales, marketing, delivery, in the platform, objective setting and follow through that creates that dashboard. Like if I log in, I can see red, green, yellow where I'm at for the things I control, and then that day I can take action. So that's going to be the element that supports these 3 habits.
Yeah. So just real quick, I want to come back to that in a second, but real quick, if you could just list the 3 habits, just in list form.
Yeah. Habit 1, use the financials like a scoreboard. Habit 2, achieve positive cash flow. Habit 3, create your 12-month rolling financial flight plan budget.
Perfect. So as a segue, you were commenting on this before. A lot of our clients that we're making this video for, many of them don't have a CFO, or some of them may have a controller, or some of them may have a CFO. But tell me briefly, because we're go-givers here, we're trying to give something, a little bit about your organization. Like, how do you help folks that maybe don't have a CFO or don't, they're, like you said, they're out there to deliver a service that they love to deliver, and finance isn't like their first thought. So what are your services? And certainly we'll put a link to your website when we post this, but tell us a little bit about Foresight CFO.
Yeah. And there's a lot of role confusion in the finance and accounting area. Most CFOs are actually controllers. They're bosses of accounting. You can tell if they're talking about the plumbing, the accounting system, and this kind of stuff. They are by whatever name, they're a controller, which is really needed. The accounting is the foundation for excellence. Growth CFO is something different. Think about it. How many times have you or business owners gone to their CFO, their controller, and said, "Hey, I want to do this better thing," and typically, the CFO's response is, "We don't have the money, can't do it, it won't work." Something like that. That's what we wouldn't be here if we thought like that. The growth CFO is the person you go to. Hey, we're successful here. We can expand into new markets, have more impact. Our people can do better. And the growth CFO is going to help you find a way to do that, right? That's the biggest difference in this manner we're talking about, right? Destination, flight plan. And if we really dive deep, what is that vivid vision of your future self? Who are you? Where do you have purpose? The more we know that, the more we can build a business where you're wearing the right hat, other people are wearing the right hat. You have the future org chart where you can delegate to, and you have the instruments, the infrastructure where you can delegate with confidence. If you pass it off, if they drop the ball, you can see it, right? So you don't have to micromanage because you teach them to pick up the ball. So that's the difference. Is the growth CFO is going to, this is where you need to end up. Let's figure out how to get there.
So folks can come to you to try to get that growth CFO mindset in their own business, when they may have a controller or somebody that's tactically proficient or even excellent, but it's that growth CFO mindset that you guys are offering. That's the business problem that you're solving.
Yeah, and it's a different solution. And we're not just mindset. We're hands-on, do it with you.
Good point. So
we're accountable for those revenue, profitability, cash, and the value of your business.
Yeah. Well, Kirk, this has been great. Thanks for taking some time with me. Really, what I wanted to do is, since we're talking to small business leaders all the time about technology, money always comes up, investment always comes up. And I thought some of these habits, the 3 habits that you've been teaching me about for 20 years, would be helpful for our clients. So when we do post this, we'll put a link to your website so folks can get more information. Last question for you, Kirk. Outside of the 3 habits, you've been a small businessman for a long time. You're a MBA, I think you're a CPA as well, aren't you?
I am one of those.
Yeah, so a lot, and a best-selling author. Outside of the 3 habits, anything you'd say is like the top priority for small business leaders?
Yeah, literally lead like all this arm's length stuff and compliance stuff and hire the right category stuff. The flip of that is be authentic, be yourself. real values, right? What do you stand for? And niche into your customers that love that, because everything's going to be better, right?
That's awesome.
Profitability. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. I'm glad I saved that question for the end. Kirk, thanks so much. Have a great day and appreciate your time.
Hey, my friend, thank you. Great catching up with you.
See ya.